Nina Shea is the director of the Center for Religious Freedom at the Hudson Institute. She joins us now from our Washington, D.C. bureau. Nina, how significant is this passing by the European Parliament calling this genocide?
It's very important to call it genocide. It's important because it's the truth. In the ISIS-controlled territory, there's no evidence right now of any Christian life. All the Christians have either been killed or driven out. The Yazidis, thousands of them, their women are now sex slaves. So this is the truth. And if we take this solemn vow of never again, as we have since the Jewish Holocaust under the Nazis, we have to call it as such for the Christians. It's also important for resettlement in the United States. Right now, the United States, for the first quarter of fiscal year 16, has admitted a grand total of 6 Christians from Syria, Syrian refugees, into the United States, and no Yazidis. This is less than 1% of the Syrian refugees that have been admitted to the United States, even though Christians are 10% of the Syrian population before the war. This is utter disgrace. This has to stop.
So now they've labeled, the European Parliament calls us genocide. What's next?
It's important for the United States to do the same. And there's a reluctance on the part of the administration to call it genocide against Christians. They have told us privately that they will call it genocide against Yazidis, but not Christians. And there's a group of us fighting, a large group of us, and broad spectrum of religious leaders that have signed a petition to Secretary John Kerry saying, please meet with us so we can give you the evidence, so you cannot say that you don't know. It's important that Congress pass Resolution 75, calling it genocide for the Christians and other vulnerable minorities. Speaker Ryan has to bring this to a vote.
Talk about the legal ramifications, because calling it genocide has legal ramifications. Explain that for our U.S. viewers.
Yes, one of the first human rights treaties in the world was the Genocide Convention, and it bans genocide, of course, but it also calls for the prevention of genocide and the punishment of those who perpetrate it. Now, we're still in the process of genocide. Not everyone is dead, not all the victims are, but there is a partial attempt and an intent to commit genocide against Christians and Yazidis and some others. And we must do our part to prevent this. And we can prevent it in 2 ways, either by stopping ISIS in its tracks or by rescuing them, rescuing these vulnerable minorities. We can do both, in fact. It's incumbent on us, it's morally incumbent on us to protect and prevent this genocide from being concluded.
You're working with Frank Wolf on the scorecard. Supporting religious freedom seems like a no-brainer. Why is the scorecard needed?
A scorecard is needed to build pressure, to show the American public what is at stake, what opportunities there are, and how their elected representatives are standing up or not so much standing up for this core American principle, our bedrock principle of religious freedom around the world, which is actually institutionalized in our State Department foreign policy, along with trade, along with defense and security. Religious freedom and human rights is a pillar of our foreign policy, and we have not been applying the pressure to the same degree that the Chamber of Commerce provides pressure on trade.
Yeah, okay, terrific. Nina Shea, thank you, as always, for your insights. Nina Shea, thanks for joining us on the broadcast.